Good afternoon. We're back here with another episode of Green Connections. Today, I'm accompanied by Magdalene Pike, founder of PASSBACK. Magdalene, good afternoon. How are you?
Gideon, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing lovely.
Great, great. So, Magdalene, founder of PASSBACK. PASSBACK has been one of the startups that was participating in our program, Climate Launchpad Central America. It was the first edition we did in Central America, and Magdalene and PASSBACK were winners. So, we're very happy to have Magdalene with us today. Climate Launchpad is a program designed by Climate Kick. Climate Kick is the Knowledge and Innovation Center of the European Union, and they are supporting us since over the last 5 years already. With setting up these programs in Latin America. So we're happy to do this this year in Central America as well. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And before we start talking about PASSBACK, we want to know a little bit about Magdalene. Magdalene, where did your road to sustainability start?
Yeah, so I am actually from St. Louis, Missouri in the United States, and I grew up in the soccer community. I am a soccer girly, born and raised. My father was a coach and kind of an entrepreneur in the youth soccer clubs here in St. Louis. And I spent most of my time after school working like throughout my whole life for him. And if you ever had if like kids ever had water bottles left at fields or a soccer ball that went over a fence that was in the forest, like magically disappeared, I was the one that was collecting all of that stuff. So I was the one seeing the overhead it was causing for all of these businesses. Like there's just so much surplus that the closets were full. Like my personal closet was full. As I grew up, I went on to play D1 soccer, and I went on to play a little bit of semi-pro, and all of my friends' closets, my closet was just full of all this stuff. And many people in sports, we spend a lot of our time outside, and we are very connected to nature by doing so. And I personally have just been into environmentalism probably my whole life. I've been a vegetarian since since high school before, and mostly from sustainability reasons. And I just personally am passionate about that, I would say, in my own life. And so as I grew up and I was kind of seeing all this surplus right out of undergrad and playing soccer, I joined the startup world actually, and for a lovely company called Tiny Superheroes. I was the first full-time employee there for a woman named Robin Rosenberger, and that really opened my eyes to entrepreneurship. And I helped take that company from seed to scale, reaching over 150,000 kids in 28 different countries. And I was able to see how Robin took her own story and her own life lessons and kind of incorporated it into a business to solve a problem. And the idea just kind of started pouring out of me from there. I couldn't stop it. So here we are.
Yeah, no, great. What was the feeling actually when you were a little kid and picking up those bottles? What gave it that you started picking up those bottles? What was it?
Well, we had to, first of all. So like part of my dad's role was a lot of like, if he wasn't doing the waste management, he was employing someone to do the waste management. So we just had to like figure out that problem. So I wasn't allowed to go home until we got all the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's exciting too. It felt like
Fraud.
treasure hunting. It felt like treasure hunting. I mean, this is high quality stuff I'm finding. Like go find the soccer ball. Like heck yeah, like these are toys, you know. So it's fun too.
Interesting. Also very interesting what you're telling us about, let's say, Tiny Superheroes, and what is it that took you from Tiny Superheroes to what is now PASSBACK?
Yeah. Well, I think it took some time for me to understand business and really understand how to form a business. And not only were my eyes opened at Tiny Superheroes, but I also started getting my MBA at Washington University in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And they very much exposed me to like the structures and the connections and the ability to kind of form my own business around this idea, and kind of the courage as well. There's a lot of incubators like Climate Launchpad that have just kind of helped me along the way. And I would say they've been instrumental in just where I'm at. It's only been less than a year now, so.
Yeah. No, exciting. And of course, I mean, Climate Launchpad is a program for, let's say, for climate entrepreneurs. So let's link this back to PASSBACK. Can you tell us a little bit about what PASSBACK does?
Yeah, so at PASSBACK, we upcycle sports equipment so every kid can play. And really, we're creating a circular economy for sports products. And yeah, that's the brief version. I'm happy to go a little deeper as well.
Now, we all get the impression when we look at the news that, I mean, like the circular economy is already fixed. And if you buy a shirt or shoes or whatever, it's already taken care of. Is that true? Or what is your impression?
No, well, from my impression is that there is so much surplus that people do not know what to do with it. For example, retailers and sports brands, through over like 50 plus customer interviews, like I've interviewed so many people, we're finding that the gear is getting stuck in the middle of this linear economy. So all of this wealth and like the is getting kind of stuck because the full life cycle of each of these products is only being utilized to a minimal fraction of its potential. So it's not curbside recyclable. People recognize that it's good material, so they don't really know what to do with it. They're giving it to Goodwill, but Goodwill doesn't specialize in sports gear. And also textiles, we've been able to figure out a solution to help those as well. So anything that can be repurposed, we do so, and then anything that can be recycled, we find a home for that as well. So there's this opportunity.
And so we talk about the problem that people are stuck with a lot of stuff, and it keeps piling up, and they don't know what to do with it. And I mean, I said in the intro.
So then we come in, PASSBACK comes in, and we take on the laborious like it's really laborious to kind of offload all of this gear. So we take all of that in, and we provide cost savings to all of these retailers and sports clubs. And then we are able to get this in for free because we're solving a problem for these sports clubs and retailers. And then we're able to sell it at a fraction of the retail price to underserved communities. So high quality products at super affordable price.
And this is where it gets exciting for me, at least. I mean, you participated in a incubator program focusing on Central America. So why would you participate in a program focusing on Central America if you're based in Missouri and you have stuff in the US?
Absolutely. So I've been privileged that I was able to travel to Costa Rica, and I was able to go around the back roads and see the most beautiful pitches in some of the tiniest towns. And I saw some kids that were playing and they didn't have any shoes on, and I like knew that my own closet had like shoes that could serve this. And while there's so many kids in St. Louis that I can repurpose, and I will, and I plan to, it's so much louder in different areas, and the opportunity for really wealth building in different communities excites me. And I think the social side and social good of everything makes everything accelerate as well.
I think that's a very, very beautiful thing in itself, and it makes also sense, let's say, from a business perspective, right?
Absolutely. Economic development, I am selling. So it provides not only opportunity to the kids who are receiving the gear, but it provides opportunity for coaches to provide development around all of this. It provides teams and even like, I don't know, all different types of things. I haven't been able to scope out the exact measurements of that, but there's long-term effects of obviously getting kids involved in extracurricular athletic.
And that's of course where let's say your experience as a young kid comes in, where you were there with your dad as a coach, and Yeah, so there's a climate impact you're generating because you extend the life of all those, let's say, products and goods. But there's also the social impact, right?
Mhm.
You wanna go into that?
Yeah, I would love to. So, for example, so I'll use a soccer cleat as an example. It takes 2,200 gallons of water to create one new pair of soccer cleats. And by extending the life cycle of this, like we mentioned, not only has a sustainability impact, but it gives straight opportunity to a kid. So that is one child directly impacted. So there's this quote from Cristiano Ronaldo, actually, that is one of my favorite quotes. And he says that it's a quote after one of the World Cups. And the reporter goes, um, he's like, Ronaldo, like, why do you help your mom so much? Like, why do you have so much, like, why does your mom live with you? And he was like, my mom dedicated her whole life to me. She raised me and was a cleaning lady and worked every day and night just and able to buy me my first pair of cleats in order to be a player. And I think just this quote talks about obviously an extreme version of the opportunity, but just on a smaller scale, there's a public health research actually here in Missouri, where I'm from. And one of the researchers asked like thousands of kids what they envision as health. And it's a map and it's pictures with the kids' answers. And the amount of pictures of sports equipment is somewhat overwhelming. So just from a kid's perspective, it is that as well. And then the third piece of this, so not only do you have the sustainability part, the social part of actually impacting the kid, but the economic development part. So we are equivalently, so fair market price value of a cleat, the smaller range of a high quality cleat is about $30. So not only that can be attributed to $30 in direct economic gift to the
Yeah. No, I
community.
understand. And of course, there's going to be people that say, yeah, but the stuff is in Missouri or the stuff is in the US, and then you have to transport it to Costa Rica. So how do you take care of that part? I mean, that's also carbon footprint, right?
Absolutely. And I have also done a lot of research on this, and I've been talking to some industry professionals and some carbon tracking professionals as well with Washington University in St. Louis. And really, you can do it very sustainably if you do it on a mass scale level. So we are just tracking all of that. So we not only do we have a strong re-commerce kind of feel on the back end here, but we're tracking all the metadata fields for all of this. So not only the material of all of it, but the carbon pounds and the brand. So very granular in our data that we one day hope to build to a dashboard and sell back to brands. So that's like vision 2, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, I can imagine, I mean, what you're trying to accomplish, and then afterwards also at scale, is super challenging in the sense that you have to figure out some sort of reverse logistics for used goods, and do that at scale, let's say for the clubs and for different stores. So how do you go about this? How did you figure that out?
Absolutely. So actually, I am blessed in an industry that the fashion industry and the consumer plastics industry are way ahead of the sports industry. So I get to follow some really cool, pretty established companies that are relatively new, but in those industries, I've been following their techniques very much so. And with that being said, I have a strong beachhead market within soccer, and I'm proving that out in St. Louis. And I'm doing a lot of research of how I can duplicate this to different areas. And really, it'll work if there is a strong social economic divide within a large city that is sports oriented. So,
Yeah. Makes total sense, and especially in soccer crazy Latin America, you have
yes.
a huge market, let's say.
Exactly.
Is that one of the reasons you picked soccer, or
Oh,
what?
definitely. Yes. Yes. I mean, and that's just where my passion is too. And
Yeah,
it's a world sport.
yeah, no, cool, love it. And you were talking about scale, and scale is one of those things that is super challenging. You now let's say, and maybe that's also a good thing to do, is to share, let's say, with the audience on where you are at right now with PASSBACK. What stage, if you would describe yourself, what stage are you in?
Yeah, we're still early stage, definitely. We are proving out their MVP. I would say we're on the tail end of just like fully having it going, and exciting to go from there. I would almost say that my traction is a little bit quicker than my throughput, if that makes sense. But I've been able to garner some attraction from some big brands like US Soccer and soccer.com, just with my idea and kind of what's already happening. So I have excitement about where it could go. And my vision is that there is a big green drop-off box at every sports club, specifically the professional ones too. And we're able to kind of use these networks to collaborate, and use soccer even as a tool to do so and make this work. And
Now, and I think that is something of a very exciting, because you were mentioning about the fact that you would collect these goods, which sometimes are almost not used or not ever, and then you sell it at a fraction of the cost, well, the production cost. How do you test what is the right price that you can ask for, let's say, in markets like Costa Rica, for example?
Very good question. And I'm so excited. I have this really amazing team actually that is building out a very cool Shopify interface in which the storefront can change based on B2B or B2B2C. And we have some cool technologies in place to help us in order to do so. And we plan to use those to A/B test this distribution, and not only from a re-commerce standpoint, which excites me, kind of in the next decade or so. I believe that re-commerce and repurposed goods has a large potential in the sporting goods industry. For re-commerce has barely been tapped. So the scale within re-commerce is there.
Yeah. Okay. No. Super. I think, and those are one of those things that, you have to have a great team that brings in those skills in order to, well, you were talking about the A/B testing. Talk a little bit about the team. Who else is on your team? What they do? What is their roles? Tell us.
I have the best team in the whole world. So I have Angie Winchell. She has a brand experience from the Y and Goodwill. Currently, she also ran her own marketing firm here in St. Louis, and she is on as a board member right now, and she has been giving lots of good advice. And then I have Carly McIntyre, who has expertise in accounting on both global, not NGO side, and for EY as well. Wow. And so those are my two board members. And then as far as my team goes, I have a lot of student workers, honestly. So I have about 7 to 10 that I've been managing this semester. I have a core team of 4, and that's John Lee, Bianca Cuevas, Leah Shatner, and Logan Rogue. And really, they're all working professionals with expertise ranging from grant writing to the Department of Treasury at WashU to impact tracking and engineering. And I also have a strong advisory team within the sustainability department as well at WashU, and specifically Dr. Heather Cameron and Joe Steensma, and the whole kind of to Lescree as well at WashU. So
no,
that's
super.
And of course the Climate Launchpad mentors like Joanna has been incredible. I would this whole summer we were going back and forth. So I absolutely.
That's great. That's awesome. And I was, and that's something that popped into my mind, because this is something that's happening, for example, in Europe. Right now in France, if you are selling, if you are HMM in Europe and in France in this case, selling clothes, then but at the moment that you sell clothes, you basically are also signing as a retailer a buyback guarantee. So you need to take back the clothes that have been used, right? And this is a government policy. Of course, we're far away from having government policies in Latin America or maybe in the US. But do you think, and just your opinion, can be anything, you think it's a good thing that the government gets involved and let's say puts in these buyback guarantees for retailers?
Oh, I personally love this because that gives opportunity for a business like me to hop in and provide a solution for these businesses. Specifically, returns are a huge burden for a lot of these brands, like even soccer.com. And then logistically having to send it all the way back, if there was a central hub and a partner like PASSBACK to take off that laborious burden and even like sustainability and cost efficiency, we're your person. So restrictions and regulations around sustainability help startups provide solutions for these big corporations. So I'm all for it. Yeah.
You're all for it. No, cool. Now, and I think even if it's not the government stepping in doing that, then probably it is the big trend, right? That we're going to get these types of if it's buyback guarantees or some sort of return back guarantees that you can at least drop it off when you buy new clothes. Imagine the logistics, right? I'm just thinking about Amazon and all those big platforms. They need huge organizations, a PASSBACK times 1,000 in order to solve at least part of the problem. So that brings me to the next question. Where do you see, Magdalene, PASSBACK over the next, 3 years or 5 years?
Yeah. So there's big dreams, I have high ambitions, and I want to start with the first step is closing off my MVP and A/B testing with a big gifting event, and then also with a strong selling unit. So after that, I envision it. So let's jump forward 5 years. I would love to be inside of MLS, every single MLS stadium across the United States. And I would love to have that partnerships with CONCACAF or like literally anyone in Latin America to try to like bridge and just make this work. And I think it's totally possible because it's a win-win-win for almost every business solution involved. And in the middle, I think there's direct routes. St. Louis City, MLS is one I'm pursuing. Obviously, the United Nations here and any accelerator route through here would be another one to kind of get me to that next stage.
That's awesome. And I also have to say, Magdalene, I love your dedication to, let's say, to soccer. You think soccer is let's say the market to attack within your model?
I think so. One, it's where I have a lot of personal connections, so I think I have a head start in that round. Two, it's an $80 billion global market. So as far as that for youth sports or for youth soccer specifically, or no, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. For soccer products specifically, global. That's you. So it makes the most sense personally, for my passion and economically. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. No, I love that. And I think it makes total sense. I mean, doing the same thing with golf or tennis, it's going to be a little bit more complicated in Latin America. So
Yeah. And as far as inventory goes, so I have to track a lot of the materials, and there's a large like inventory process. So by starting off with soccer, I know that there's kind of less materials oftentimes than a lot of other sports, say as hockey. So I know I'm tracking balls, I'm tracking cones, I'm tracking textiles, water bottles, and shin guards, so safety gear. So you have a finite list of inventory, so you really have a strong handle on what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's year round. It's not like ice hockey, which is very like 2 seasons. So that's
totally.
Yeah, no, love it. Now, Magdalene, you guys were part of the climate launchpad in Central America. Tell us, you already told us a little bit about your experience with the mentor. How was your experience in general in the program?
Oh, I loved it. I've been so welcomed, I would say. Mi español no es un poco not as the best, you know what I'm saying? So they very much help me. I get nervous speaking in front of the camera in Spanish. I very much know it, but
Yeah,
everybody just welcomed me anyways, and being exposed to all the other startups and lovely ideas really helped me grow my own. And I was just like raving about all of these cool ideas. I geek out on sustainable solutions, and all of my friends do too. So
yeah,
I'm just constantly spreading the word. And I think when you're exposed to new ideas like this, it helps bring in solutions for your own. And
yeah, yeah.
being connected to the experts and the networking too, I'm just so grateful for.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So you already participated in let's say in the Central American finals. You got through, so congrats again for being let's say one of the winners. You're now going to be participating next week, I believe, in the regional finals, where you're going to compete with other countries and regions. So we're going to you guys are going to compete against people from the Caribbean, from Colombia. So what is your expectations around that those finals?
Oh my goodness, I have so much excitement. I have a lot of respect for the competitors, and but really, I can't wait to show off the progress I've been making, honestly.
Very good. Love it. Love it. No, we're also very much looking forward to this because I mean it's a great opportunity where a lot of people and everybody listening here can also join next week and see all the great projects that are there in the Caribbean and in Central America and in other parts of Latin America. It's a great place to see. As you said, it's a very diverse place where you can see all types of let's say projects working on climate issues. So yeah, that's great. Now, Meglin, we're almost at the end, and before we close out, I also like to ask you if there's other let's say wannabe entrepreneurs, wannabe climate entrepreneurs listening in, what would be your advice to them? Um,
My advice to you would be that I personally think the best ideas come from people's personal niche experiences. And so look at the problems around you. How are you solving them? And find a framework and kind of experts like Climate Launchpad who can kind of take these thoughts and put them into a framework to help you build it into a business. And just like keep surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurs. I
yeah.
think is the best route.
That's an awesome advice. Thanks for that, Magdalene. I would also like to thank you for being here together with us today and talk about PASSBACK and about your passion, which is soccer and climate. So that's a very interesting combination. Thank you.
Oh, no, Gideon, thank you so much for not only this interview, but your time and your advice and this opportunity. And for everyone listening, thank you for just caring and listening. So you guys are awesome.
No, great. Very, and we're so happy to have you in our little community, our little let's say climate family. So that's great.
Oh,
We're gonna be speaking and talking a lot more over the next months or even years. So that's super exciting. Thank you for
oh,
being.
yay. Yay.
Also, would like to thank the audience listening in today, or if you're gonna watch it later on our YouTube channel or whatever. Um, you can reach out to Magdalene. Below, you can see her. I think it is one of her social handles. So please feel free to reach out. We would like to thank you for being with us, and we're going to be back at the same time next week on Tuesday, and we're going to be talking to another founder and another startup and learn about their business. So for now, I'd like to thank everybody and wish you a good night. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gideon.